Hello Tech World and welcome to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at Apple's new entry-level iPad. We'll be taking a look at its specs, design, and determining who is this tablet for and if it's worth upgrading from the previous iPad 10th generation model. If you're new to the channel, here we cover everything tech and gaming, so if that's something you're interested in, then make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. And without further ado, let's get back to the iPad 11th generation. To kick things off, let's take a closer look at the design of the new iPad. At first glance, it looks nearly identical to its predecessor, the iPad 10th generation, as Apple has kept the same overall design language. The dimensions remain unchanged, meaning the height, width, and weight are exactly the same as the previous model. If you were expecting a slimmer profile or a lighter build, you won't find that here. This iPad is physically identical to its predecessor in every way. The new iPad is available in the same four vibrant color options: blue, pink, yellow, and silver. On the front, we still have the same landscape-oriented 12-megapixel center stage camera, which is great for video calls and FaceTimes. As for the bezels, they remain unchanged as well, maintaining the same thickness as before. Flipping it over to the back, we once again find the same 12-megapixel wide camera, reinforcing that Apple hasn't made any upgrades in the camera department. So, how can you tell this iPad apart from the 10th generation iPad? Well, the only visible difference is on the back. Unlike the previous model, which had the word iPad printed on the rear casing, this new version has a completely clean back with no text or branding whatsoever. As of now, this is the only iPad in Apple's lineup to feature this design choice. It's unclear why Apple decided to remove the branding, but it does serve as the only way to visually tell the difference between that and the previous model. Another interesting detail is how Apple lists the screen size. On the official website, this iPad is marketed as an 11-inch device, whereas the iPad 10th generation was labeled as 10.9 inches. However, there is no physical difference in display size. The change seems to be purely in naming rather than an actual increase in screen real estate. Overall, while the design of this new iPad remains nearly identical to its predecessor, the removal of the iPad branding and the slight rebanding of the screen size are the only notable distinctions. If you were hoping for a fresh new look or major design change, this update may feel underwhelming. When it comes to the specs of the new iPad, this is where we start to see some notable differences. One of the biggest upgrades is the inclusion of the A16 Bionic chip, a solid leap forward from the A14 Bionic chip found in the iPad 10 generation. This new chip is more powerful and efficient, delivering improved performance for multitasking, gaming, and demanding applications. However, there's an interesting change in the CPU configuration, as the A16 features a 5-core CPU, which is actually 1 core less than the 6-core CPU in the previous model. Additionally, the new iPad is equipped with a 4-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine, providing better graphics performance. For those curious, the A16 chip is the same chip that powers the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, as well as the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. This means you're getting flagship level performance in a tablet, which should translate to a smoother experience when running high performance apps, editing photos and videos, or playing graphically intensive games. Another significant improvement comes in the storage department. Apple has finally ditched the outdated 64GB base model, and the new iPad now starts with 128GB of internal storage. This is a much needed change, as 64GB simply isn't enough for most users in today's digital world. Additionally, Apple has introduced a higher tier storage option, allowing users to upgrade to 512GB, a feature that wasn't available on the iPad 10th generation, which maxed out at 256GB. However, beyond the processor and storage upgrades, the rest of the hardware remains the same. The new iPad continues to support Wi-Fi 6 and offers 5G connectivity for those who opt for the cellular model. While these features are still solid, some users might have hoped for an upgrade to Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7 for faster and more reliable wireless connections. But again, this is only beneficial for those who have Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 in their homes. Overall, while the new iPad brings meaningful improvements in performance and storage, Apple has kept many aspects unchanged. If you're coming from the previous generation, the biggest reasons to consider upgrading would be the A16 chips, enhanced speed and efficiency, as well as the increased storage options. When it comes to the iPad's display, it features a liquid retina display, which offers a resolution of 2360 by 1640 with a pixel density of 264 ppi, delivering sharp visuals and vibrant colors. However, its 60Hz refresh rate is a disappointment, though not unexpected considering even the latest iPad Air models still lack promotion. With a peak brightness of 500 nits, the display remains bright enough for most environments, ensuring a great viewing experience. Despite the 60Hz limitation, the Liquid Retina display continues to impress with its stunning color accuracy and vivid visuals. If you enjoy watching content on a tablet, this display won't disappoint. It remains one of the best in its price range. Moving on, let's talk about the iPad's A16's performance. When running a Geekbench performance test, the iPad A16 came out with a CPU single-core score of 2,539 with a multi-core score of 5,674. And when it came to GPU score, it came out with a score of 19,882. As for gaming on this device, it's a bump up from the A14 Bionic chip, but nothing groundbreaking. I've been able to play my games with no issues whatsoever, which is something I love to see. More demanding games like Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone, and Wuthering Waves run quite smoothly if I do say so myself. When it comes to speakers, the iPad features landscape stereo speakers, delivering impressive sound quality. They use the same speaker setup as the iPad Air, and in my opinion, they sound great. But don't just take my word for it, let's take a listen. Let me know in the comments if you think they sound good. Moving on, let's talk about the Apple Pencil support. The iPad is limited to the Apple Pencil USB-C and the first generation Apple Pencil. Unfortunately, it's the only new iPad that doesn't support the Apple Pencil Pro. Also, if you already own the Apple Pencil second generation, you're out of luck, as it's not compatible with this iPad either. Definitely a disappointing limitation for some users. When it comes to battery life, the iPad is rated for up to 10 hours of web browsing on Wi-Fi or video playback, and up to 9 hours when using cellular data. While I haven't personally tested these claims, I can say from my experience that the battery life has been solid and I have no complaints so far. So, who is this tablet for? Well, if you're someone looking for a budget-friendly device that's great for content consumption, gaming, social media, and light productivity, like checking emails and browsing the web, then the iPad is a solid choice. In my opinion, it's more than enough for most people. However, if you need more power for demanding tasks like professional editing or intensive multitasking, you're better off with the iPad Air or iPad Pro, as they come with M-series chips designed for high performance work. But if you want an affordable tablet that delivers great value, trust me, you won't find a better option at this price. With that being said, should you upgrade to this tablet if you already own the iPad 10th generation? In my opinion, no. Both iPads are very similar. The only real difference are the increase in base storage and the processor upgrade from the A14 Bionic chip to the A16 chip. Other than that, everything else remains the same. Same 12 megapixel center stage camera, same display, same build, same Apple Pencil support, and more. Plus, neither iPad supports Apple Intelligence, so there's nothing truly game-changing to justify upgrading from the iPad 10th generation. It's disappointing that after 3 years, this is all we're getting in the new entry-level iPad. Well, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and leave a like, as it really helps the channel grow. As always, Tech World, it's been a pleasure, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.